Oh, my loves. Hello. Hello, my loves. Hi, guys. Welcome to another edition of the Complete Woman Podcast. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all of support. Thank you for everything that you do. You know, again, every like, every share, every comment, all of those things mean a whole lot, and I appreciate it. So, I hope everyone has been doing well. Everybody has been doing well. This week has been pretty good. Over the weekend, it was my niece's birthday. She is 3 now. Oh my gosh. She is 3 now, and we all went to Orlando to hang out with her for her birthday. We went to the Crayola experience, and we went to Dave & Buster's, and it was me and my family and some others and her siblings and all, and it was so much fun. We laughed and we had fun the whole entire time, and I absolutely enjoyed my family, and I absolutely enjoyed the camaraderie that we all had together. So that was just amazing. So that was kind of my weekend. Even though I had a migraine the whole entire time, I made the best of it, you know, and we got through, and you know, my niece had a great time, the family had a great time, so that was that. And this week it's just been working and stuff, and not anything enjoyable this week. Did you guys see my new logo for Toya's Girl Jam? Listen to me. Understand, God deposits ideas in your head. I started Girls Jam 2 years ago, and I basically, because number one, my birthday is 3 days after Christmas. So typically I don't get celebrations for my birthday unless I put them together. And it started getting on my nerves, you understand? So I said, you know what, bump it, I'll just start doing my own thing. And since I was already doing girls' night at my home, and it was getting a lot of attention from people, and people were enjoying it, I said, okay, let's do this on a bigger scale. And people were asking me to. They were asking me, hey, you need to do this bigger, you need to do this, so we all come together and do it on a bigger scale. Okay, I can do it, but if I do it, you're gonna pay, okay? So I have now turned my girls' nights and my birthday into this big event every year, where it's basically like a slumber party / women's empowerment girls night type vibe, you know. So it's not your normal women's empowerment event where you sit around and just look at each other, and you know, us coming together. We have games, food, music, powerful speakers. Every year it's a theme. Every year I come up with a color every year, and we have to wear our pajamas in that color or whatever, and we just have a ball. So this year, don't miss out. Even though it is going to be virtual this year, don't miss out. And I have other announcements as well about that, so just look out for it. But check out my new logo on my pages, on my Instagram and my Facebook pages, Latoya Kight, and the Complete Woman group page. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm absolutely thankful for that, and the connections and resources to get that done. So moving on, I think, you know, I think that's all. So I don't like to really talk too much about myself and things, you know. Let's get into what this video is about. So the title of the video, submission. So I had been seeing this video circulate around. So there's this clip of Jeannie Mai on The Real talk show going around, and the hosts were discussing submission, and Jeannie had a response to how she feels about it, and her co-host disagreed, which I'm not shocked. I don't really view any of their relationships to be very healthy or anything that I really look up to or whatever. Tamara was kind of the only one that kind of had a relationship, marriage that I really deemed that I would possibly look up to, but she's not there anymore. So anywho, the video got a lot of attention, And so I added a clip. So watch this clip of the video that I'm talking about and what she says, and then I will share my thoughts.
Actual definition of submit. And then I want to explain how I see this. So the actual definition of submit is to accept or yield to a superior force or to the authority or will of another person. So I'm going to say right here that I, Jeannie Mai, going into my marriage, I want to submit to my man. Let me explain. When I hear this definition, like you just said, Adrian, submitting has a negative connotation. It means that you are less important, you are lower than that person that you're submitting to. It usually can be like, you know, referenced as somebody who works lower than you, and that's not what I'm referring to here.
Yeah,
but what I've really learned in my life for my definition of marriage, I'm not saying what I want works for everybody. I'm saying for me, I'm a very dominant woman. I own my business. I lead my teams. I played my own manager, my own publicist, my own lawyer when I didn't have money to have those people. So I make the decisions in my life. When I come home, I like the idea that my man leads us. That doesn't mean that in this case, Jay makes all the decisions for us. That doesn't mean that when he says, how are we spending our money or where are we moving, that I just say, yes, sir, or yes, your honor. Like, it's not that. It's a, you know what? I think that we would do best here. I want to do this. And he takes the decision. He formulates it with our overall vision and he leads us. And I like to submit to that. I don't want to lead in our household and in our marriage. I want him to lead, and I have all the essence of what I bring as a wife to make that decision, but that I love that my husband will be the man that leads. I like that structure in a marriage, and I look forward to that because girls, it's tiring being the boss of me. It's tiring leading all the time in my life.
All the time.
When I come home,
tired to
I
be
look
the
forward
boss
to that
all the time.
I agree with her. I'm not a Jeannie Mai fan for a lot of reasons at all. I tell people all the time, some of the best people to be married to are divorced people that have learned their lesson. I feel Jeannie learned a lot from her first marriage, so she's doing what she needs to do not to mess up this one. And that doesn't mean that she lets her man rule her, run her, or boss her around or anything. That doesn't mean that at all. Submissive has become this taboo type of thing, and unless you're talking like sexually, but this is not what this video is about today, okay? So let's get into the definition again. She said a definition in the video, but I want to reiterate the definition of submissive. Submissive means inclined or ready to submit or yield authority of another, unresistingly or humbly obedient. Now, let's go to the Bible, the word, the scripture. Okay, let's get our scripture reference, okay? Ephesians 5:21 through 25, the Good News Translation says, submit yourselves to one another because of your reverence for Christ. Wives, submit yourselves to your husband as to the Lord. For a husband has authority over his wife just as Christ has authority over the church, and Christ himself the Savior of the church, his body. And so wives must submit themselves completely to their husbands just as the church submits itself to Christ. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave his life for it. And also, I have Colossians 3:18, Good News Translation. Wives, submit yourselves to your husbands, for that is what you should do as Christians. Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. After I studied this, I further agree with Jeannie. Particularly because Ephesians 5:25 and Colossians 3:19 both kind of wrap this thing up and kind of make it to where it's not a thing of where someone is just taking completely control over you or somebody is being demanding and not caring about your feelings, because God commands in Ephesians 25. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave his life for it. I feel like that's a bigger thing than submitting to somebody, because you have to basically protect me and love me as Christ would. And you basically would have to give your life up for me. And people miss that because we get so caught up in the submit part that you miss the part where he says, as I love the church and gave my life for it. Somebody having to give their life for you, that's bigger than you submitting. So we get caught up in, we got to submit to him, we got to listen to him and all this other kind of stuff. But he has a bigger task at hand, because he has to give his life for you. He has to protect you. He has to love you as Christ loved the church. Do you know how big that is? That is very huge, because none of us can love like Christ can. I don't care how much you try. We are not Christ, so we cannot do it, but we can submit. And in Colossians 3:19, it said, husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. That is another huge task. So he can't be mean, he can't be nasty, he can't be harsh. So when we look at this submit thing and we're looking at it as, oh, I have to listen to him again, we have to listen to his demands and do what he says do. Okay, no. Because at the end of the day, what it should be is, if he is giving out any commands or anything, it's to benefit us both. So because he can't be harsh with me per the word, he can't be harsh. He has to love me as Christ loved the church. He has to give his life for me. But we miss that because we get caught up in submit yourselves to your husbands. So because husbands have authority over their wives. We miss all of that. But what you're missing as well is that the man is the head. The man has to lead. He's the head. We are not the head. He's the head. He leads the family. He does what he needs to do. He puts his life at risk, because if somebody is coming to come after a family, they mainly come after the men. They come after the women emotionally and spiritually, but they come after the men physically. Oh, okay. So it's just, it makes it easier when you really break it down and you pay attention, instead of just picking apart parts that you want to pull out, and you read the whole entire thing and you really study that thing and break it down, and then you now understand, oh, this thing is really not as bad as we try to make it be, because we can twist the word and make it be what we want it to be. So if we are both following the word, we can't lose. There's no losing, because we are a team. This, if followed, does not allow one person to mistreat or be a disservice to the other. It doesn't. If you follow the word, you can't disservice each other. You can't be mean. You can't mistreat each other. My husband gets to have a voice in my decisions and vice versa. The problem is that we are so I am woman, hear me roar. Like, that we just don't get that being that too much can damage our relationships. What part does he play? What room does he have to be a man? Let's flip it. If your wife has to always sit down and shut up, how is she empowered? What does she bring to the table? In marriage, you gotta learn about give and take, or it's going to get to the point that the other person gets tired of giving with no reciprocation. They're going to get tired. There has to be a balance. There has to be a balance for it to work. If you're always combating what the other wants and desires, it only diminishes them and makes them feel unwanted. You are depositing small seeds that grow into full plants of silence, overlooked, and rejected. When a person feels those things, they can't give their best to the relationship. What we forget is a relationship is designed for two people. I should probably just put one end up. Two people, not four. Two people. Because y'all twist that. No, two people. What's the point of having a partner if you're going to ignore what matters to them? Why waste the time having a mate if you don't value their opinion? TD Jakes and Sarita Jakes did a series on YouTube called Model Homes. Make sure you check that out. I'm going to add the links. The links are already there in the description of this video. Bishop Jakes said, submission means to submit to the mission. You're submitting to the overall mission of the relationship. Whatever the goal is for your family is what you both should be focused on. It's not one person's way of seeing it. It's not one person's agenda. It's the relationship as a whole. Keep being stuck on not letting anyone tell you what to do, and you will find yourself by yourself. Okay? Please understand. It's not about them being your mama or your daddy. Quiet as it's kept, some of you don't listen to your mama or your daddy anyway. So of course you're not going to listen to your mate. But that's what you prayed for. That's what you asked God for. That's what you wanted. That's what you kept asking God to send you. Now you got them and you just treat them any kind of way. It's about sticking to what you both agree on is best for the family and not doing your own thing that could put the family at risk. We got to keep in mind that this is about a bigger picture than just me and you. This is about something bigger than just what I want. This is bigger than, oh, how I see it and how I feel, and this is what I want to do, and I don't care what you got to say type situation. It's bigger than that. You got to think about the whole entirety of your relationship, the family that you're building, the things that you're trying to do, the things you're trying to create, the places you're trying to go. You cannot be stalled or stopped because your thinking is so warped when it comes to someone giving you their opinion or someone saying how they see it and how they feel about it, and you feel like, oh, you're not going to tell me and I know what I'm talking about and I'm going to do what I want to do. Well, if you're going to do what you want to do, how about be by yourself? We got to be careful. We got to be mindful. We want these partners. We want these mates. We want to be with people. But then we turn around and we act as if we're single. Now, granted, it's something that I even had to learn because of me being a single mother. And I'm still learning, even though I was married before. And that's the only reason I speak on these things, because I was married before. I would not probably speak on this stuff like that much if I had never been married before, because I can't give you much of anything being married only 6 years. I think we only been married, 6 years. The funny thing about that, Devin always remembers and I forget. Ain't that crazy? But anywho, so because of my experience, and seeing things happen and the way that my first marriage fell apart, I had this in my mind where I said, you know what, at the end of the day, me and my kids are going to be good. I'm going to make sure they got whatever they need. I'm not sitting around waiting on anybody. I'm not waiting on anybody to say yes or give it to me or give me permission or anything. I'm not doing that. So I did what I had to do as a single mother. I did what I had to do as a single woman. I kept pushing forward and not worrying about anybody else helping me or taking care of me or assisting me or anything. So when I got with my husband now, it was really tough, and it's still kind of tough to sit back and be like, I'm going to let him lead this. I'm going to let him handle this. I'm going to let him deal with this. I'll let him make the decision in this situation. It's very tough to do that sometimes because I'm so used to being the person that does it. Especially when it comes to my children. I'm the one that does it. I'm the one that leads that. I'm the one that is the person that they know. Like, I am their leader, basically. So to have someone else come in and to kind of take the reins of that is kind of hard for me to deal with, because it's kind of like I'm used to making that decision by myself. I don't have to clear that with anybody else. But how does that benefit the family as a whole? Because what you don't understand is that you're causing chaos between the family members in the unit. You're causing chaos because you're stepping in and you're stepping over. You're stepping in and you're stepping over, and you're not considering the fact that people are watching you do this. Your children are watching you do this. Your friends are watching you do this. Your families are watching you do this. So they're watching you cut off your mate piece by piece because you want to step in and you want to be, hey, I'm me and I do what I want to do and you can't tell me nothing. How is that working out for you? Ask yourself, look at your life and tell me, how is that really working out for you? How is that helping you get through? How is that assisting you in life? How is that making the family as a whole be better? How? Is it only servicing you and your agenda? Is it only making you feel good and everybody else feel miserable? This is other saying, that my husband absolutely does not like. He is happy wife, happy life. And at first when he was like, well, I don't like that, and I won't say that, I was like, what? What you mean? You ain't gonna say that? What you mean you don't like that? But when he explained it to me, it made so much sense because he was like, you're happy, but I'm not happy. And how does that benefit the relationship if you're the only one that's happy? If I'm trying to make sure that you're good, and then no one makes sure that I'm good. And I was like, you know what? You right. So it's happy. What is happy house, happy something? So that's how we look at it now. It's like, if we're both happy, if we're both good, the relationship is good. It can't be just one person is good and one person is okay, and we forget about the other person, and then we're trying to figure out why we're still not where we want to be. And we're trying to figure out why we still don't feel how we want to feel, and we're trying to figure out why it's still not working. It's not working because of the simple fact of it's a selfish move to only think about you. It's a selfish move to only have your agenda in mind. It's selfish. So you have to consider everyone and every component in your life, and you have to consider, how does this benefit everyone in my life? If I have children, how does that benefit my children? If I don't have children, if I was to have children one day, how would that benefit my children? How would that benefit the finances? How does that service our life? How does that service our family? How does that service our finance? How does that service us? And that we both come out on top. Because to only have one person come out on top, or only one person to be okay, what does that do? How does that work? Like, what makes it better? So sit back, ask yourself, am I servicing this relationship? Am I making this relationship better? Am I uplifting my mate? Am I making my mate feel like they have a voice? Am I making my mate feel like they're important? My husband asked me something the other day, because we watched this show. We watched Lovecraft Country. And he asked me, because there was this episode where one of the women in the episode, she just lost herself. She lost herself in her husband, her child, her family, and everything, and kind of just really had to find herself in this episode. And he asked me the question that they asked in the show, and I just lost what the question was, but it's basically like, do I diminish you, or do I, silence you, or something to that sense. And I told him, I said, no, I said, because number one, that's not even in your character to do. Like, you give me this sense of where I can be able to be free with my thoughts, and I'm able to be who I am. You let me do that. You give me that freedom and that openness to do that. I said, but on the other end as well, I won't allow you to. Because I've been in a relationship that did that to me. And I will not allow that to happen to me again. So I have to take the authority upon myself to not allow somebody to silence me, not to allow somebody to diminish me, not to allow somebody to push me in the back burner and push me to the back and never think about me again. I have the right and I have the power in myself to be able to say, no, that's not going to happen. No, that's not going to fly. No, that's not okay. And I'm not going to deal with it. And you don't have to do it all like this and you're not going to try me. You're not going to do me like that. I don't know what you thought this was or whatever. You know, you don't have to do all of that. You can come and you be like, listen, that's not what I'm doing. I don't want to do that. You have to be firm in what you believe and what you want. And you have to let the other person see your value. You have to let the other person see your importance. Because all day you could say you have value and importance, but if you don't make the other person see that, it's just words. You have to show people how to treat you. You can't let people just say anything and do anything to you and just be on their merry little way. No. Hold on, partner. What we're not going to do is that. Sorry. That's not happening for me. I'm not okay with that. That does not help me feel good. That does not help me be better. We got to figure out something else. Because that right there is not going to work. So how else can we approach this? How else can we do this? That's what you have to do. And you have to own who you are. You still are an individual in a relationship. You don't get in a relationship and just lose yourself and forget about who you are and just die. No. You get in a relationship to grow and be better. You get in a relationship to get someone to add to you, not take away. You are supposed to already be whole when you come to a relationship. So all they're doing is adding on their wholeness to your wholeness to make something absolutely amazing. It matters who you with. I'll say it time and time again. This stuff that y'all see me doing, this happened by being connected to my husband. He is my helpmate. He helps me with everything that I do. Mentally, he helps me. Emotionally, he helps me. Physically, he helps me. Financially, all that, he helps me. And because when I got in this relationship, I was already on the track of doing what I wanted to do now. And I let it be known, hey, this is who I am. And if you can't deal with that, if you can't handle that, then I'm not the one for you. You got to be able to handle what comes with that person. You can't only just handle their body and what you see and the surface stuff. You got to be able to handle some stuff, okay? You got to be able to handle it all. And if you're not, be wise and be honest with everyone. Be honest with your mate. Be honest with them before you want to get married to somebody. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with God. Be honest about it. You're not going to be able to do it. You're not feeling it. That is fine. That's your right. And I have said that too. Okay, that's your right. That's fine. But I'm going to do what I'm going to do because this is what God has called me to do. And this is what I want. This is what I desire. And if that's not going to line up with what you want to desire, I can't make it. I can't make it be. I can only tell you what I want to desire, and you can only line up with it, or you can just to the left, hey, hey, to the left, hey, hey, to the left, hey. Just a little Beyonce for y'all, Beyonce lovers out there. Okay, so just keep that in mind, guys. I want everyone to be great. I want everyone to have amazing relationships. I want everyone to thrive and be amazing. I just want happy, healthy, and whole. That's what I want. So, you guys, keep all that in mind, and I hope that this helped. I hope that this made you see things in a different light, and I hope that this pushes you to try and to do better in your relationship and to look at things again differently. Because sometimes some people have to point some things out. Listen, some of that stuff that I just talked about, I didn't until I just looked at it again. I was like, now wait a minute, that's good. I have notes and everything, but there was some other stuff. See, God always, because God be speaking, God be talking, okay? So I hope y'all are blessed. make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment, and hit the notification bell to make sure you know when I upload my videos. I do videos every week, so make sure you're looking out for those. Go back and check the videos that you missed, because some of these interviews that I have done are amazing. Some of the ones that I've done with myself are absolutely great. So I thank you and I appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you go to my pages, Instagram and Facebook, Latoya Kight. Make sure you go and you follow me, and you make sure you connect with me, okay? As well, if you want to book me, you can go to thecompletewoman19@gmail.com. If you want to book me for your event, if you want to book me for a session, you can do that there. Reach me there as well. I have a group on Facebook called The Complete Woman. Go join that group. We just come together and I send out motivational stuff on a daily basis, and I try to uplift you and try to encourage you and push you, and we have fun and just enjoy, each other on that page. As well, I think that is it. And like I said before, look out for Girls Jam. Look out for Girl Jam. That's coming up. And I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, follow me on social media. Follow me on, subscribe to this YouTube channel as well, and email me if you want to book your girl. Okay? If you want to book me. If you have any questions, if you have any topics, if you want to be on Talks with Toya, you can go to my email and I will definitely link up with you and we can see what we can do. Okay? As well. Oh, and I do this thing called Wild Girl Wednesday. Where I honor a young lady and or a woman, period. I honor them and I just give them their roses. I like to give people their flowers while they're alive. So if you feel like there's someone that you know that you want to be a wild girl, just email me at thecompletewoman19@gmail.com. Tell me their name and why they should be a wild girl. And as well, make sure that you and them are part of the Complete Woman group, because that's where I do it at. Okay? So that is all I have, guys. I hope you guys were blessed. I absolutely love you all. I absolutely appreciate you all. You all are amazing. Okay? So, good day. Okay? Goodbye, my love.